I'm continuing on with my perfume project, vintage Pharmacy Perfumes that I used to own. This one just arrived today, Electric Youth. It's by Revlon. It was released by Debbie Gibson. Debbie Gibson was a pop star and singer back in the 1980s. And in 1989, she released this perfume. There are vintage ads for this perfume from Teen magazine, and I had that magazine back in the time, so I'll show you those ads. There's a really good article on this perfume online. It's at Blogspot. It's called Cleopatra's Boudoir, and it talks about the notes on this perfume that are more specific than what is listed on Fragrantica and Parfumo. Electric Youth by Debbie Gibson was launched in 1989 in association with Revlon, named after the best-selling pop album and song. The fragrance composition: top notes, citrus, kiwi, peach, and passion fruit. Middle notes, jonquil, jasmine, and freesia. Base notes, amber, sandalwood, musk, and vanilla. The vintage juice was originally tinted pink, but over the years it turned an amber color due to the natural aging and oxidation process of the ingredients, such as vanilla. So if you're looking for a vintage batch, you should look for an amber colored juice, because there was a reformulated version in 2006. The new version is still quite pink, so if you're looking for a vintage, look for amber. This is the one I got. It says Cologne Spritz, and it looks amber to me. I like that it came in the original box. It was in very good condition. It wasn't fully sealed, but it was in the original box. And I always liked the spring in there, the pink spring that surrounds the straw. I'm really interested to see if I recognize it. It has been way more than 20 years since I smelled this. So I just sprayed it on my arm. I believe this is the first spray coming out of this bottle. I just feel so lucky to have this vintage bottle from back when it was first released, from my youth, my electric youth. I sprayed it on my arm. I'm just letting it dry just a little bit. I'm nervous. Well, I've been wondering about this. I've been wondering if the perfumes that we have that are vintage, if they always smell that way, or if they have aged and become the way that we now smell them. And this perfume shows me that they have aged and they have changed from what they originally smelled like back when they were first purchased, when they were fresh. This one, I feel like there might be some civet in here, even though it's not listed in the notes. It's just saying musk. But civet is a natural musk, and there's something animalic smelling in here, and I do smell the florals. I don't know what jonquil is, but jasmine and freesia are in here, and I can smell them. And then the top notes, citrus, kiwi, peach, passion fruit, they're fruity notes. So I can smell the citrus and also aldehydes, which may be a top note, maybe a mid note, I don't know. But I can definitely smell aldehydes in here, and they've changed. The aldehydes have changed in this perfume from what they originally were like. This perfume originally smelled a lot more fruity floral. Now it smells vintage and aldehydic, and the florals are kind of nestled in there, but not the fruity. The fruity notes are kind of not there, or they're obscured by the aldehydes. So this was a good purchase. I'm glad I got it. I would wear this. I would wear it. It smells vintage. It smells like a good vintage perfume. Decent, decent. Vintage bottle of Electric Youth by Revlon. Released by Debbie Gibson in 1989. Discontinued in 1995. And then until 1999, they sold the back stock. Then it wasn't available until 2006 when it was reformulated and re-released. But since then, it's been discontinued. I bought this bottle and box for $95 on eBay. I know that's expensive. It was probably originally $30. But this was a good quality vintage bottle, and I feel like it smells pretty good. It doesn't smell exactly like it did before, maybe 40% like it did before, but I'm still glad to have it just for the memory's sake of it and to continue on with my perfume project. If you have any questions about vintage perfumes, you might want to look up Cleopatra's Boudoir on blogspot.com. She writes really good articles on discontinued and vintage fragrances.
I have this funny memory of, like, my mom laughs at me because she goes, you weren't a chemist in this plant, like putting all the scents together. That's the memory I have of it. Like, I remember when I mixed the vanilla with the rose and the watermelon and I think what I did was I went, yeah, I like these kinds of scents. Yeah, that works good. Okay. That was about all I had time to do at the time.